Oh, it's a Tuesday. Also, the Wednesday thing is also on Tuesday. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's Fightful. It's what day is it's the 7th of October. There's a lot of things. There was a showdown, and also there was a Tuesday with titles on it. It was crazy. There's so many things to be talked about. There's a third guy who's going to be here later, not even here yet. We got to talk about everything that happened in the showdown before he even gets here. It's crazy time. Kate?
Well, first of all, you completely stepped on my bit by saying what the date is, but yes, it is the head-to-head showdown between the NXT post show and the AEW post show. My goodness, get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. A little bit of a different format tonight. We're going to give you a quick rundown. Sean's going to give you a quick rundown of what happened on AEW, and then we're just going to kind of let this be a more super chat driven thing to see what you guys want to talk about. I want to talk about Mustafa Ali and Ethan Page. Shocker there, but get in those super chats and humper chats to help us out with the show. Subscribe to Fightful Select because, guys, if there's anything Sean Ross Sapp loves, it's reporting contract news, and we got a lot of it in the past 24 hours. So Santos Escobar, we're still waiting to see if he's going to show up here on AEW. Xavier Woods re-signing, but a whole lot of details and so much information on the Nielsen ratings sift. There was a loaded report about that and what it means for professional wrestling. So head over to FightfulSelect.com and subscribe. It's how we pay the goofballs like me and Alex around here, as well as the rest of our staff. But Alex, I feel like before we even get started, you owe me a formal apology, and you owe somebody else a formal apology because you gaslit me into thinking my internet was bad last week, and it was yours. Because when I went back and watched the stream, my internet was fine. Fine. We're waiting.
Yes, that's true. And I will apologize for the one time my internet has been bad, as long as you apologize for every time your internet has been bad.
My internet's never been bad?
No, ever.
Never, not once.
Here's the thing. Your internet has been bad so often that you yourself believed it must be your own internet.
I 100% of the time just assume it's mine. Yeah. But my internet has never been bad since Puppet Kate arrived. That's all I'm saying. So.
that's right there. That's the causation and correlation.
Let's zip through this NXT episode and we'll get Sean on here to follow.
Congratulations to the Dudley Boyz on being the NXT Tag Team Champions this Sunday. That's all. I mean, the Hardys beat DarkState, who never looked dorkier than they did tonight, and so the Hardys are your new NXT champions. It does feel like it's so they can put those titles on the line against the Dudleys this Sunday. And probably so the Dudleys win, so that Bully Ray can like infest NXT for a few weeks as the tag team champs. That's what it feels like.
I think the NXT tag titles are going to show up on LFG, and that's going to be how they try and get people to tune into LFG.
Yeah, they're going to become
which
the
only
LFG tag
SP3
team
will
titles.
pop for.
Yes, yeah,
I think
true.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
This was. I gotta say, like, the Hardys look so much better here than either of them did, I think, in their full AEW run. Like, it's good to see that. But I can't think of a match that needs titles on the line less than Dudley's versus Hardys, and there's two sets of them on the line. If I'm not mistaken, I don't follow TNA very closely, so I don't want to speak out of turn with that. But, like, they're billing this as, like, a last time ever match. I don't think that there's a need for there to be any tag titles involved, and a team of this age having developmental tag titles is just a very, very odd thing to me, but we'll see.
We will definitely see. I was all on board the Osiris Griffin train, and then he missed a leg drop. He missed a leg drop just one of those ones where you just sit down while you're standing and just missed it entirely, whiffed on it. And then there was that weird spot where Hardy was on his shoulders and he just fell over. And Hardy was on his shoulders, not the rapper country guy, not that guy, whatever his name is, that guy Hardy. Matt Hardy was on his shoulders and fell over. And the finish was abrupt. It was like Jeff Hardy was getting his ass kicked, tagged in Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy got his ass kicked. They did 2 moves and won. And I was like, oh, okay, great. You know what was awesome was that amazing momentum you built for Hank and Tank to topple the unbeatable Fraction. And then you decided to not do anything with their title reign. And then you just gave the tag team titles to DarkState, who we call DarkState because they've been nothing but dorks since they wrote in blood the assistant GM's blood, no one is safe, and then have been dorkier and dorkier ever since. And now they look the most dorky because they lost to the Hardys. Like this, not 2025 version of the Hardys. So what you basically done is you went from Fraxium and then a perfect movement of those titles from Fraxium to Hank and Tank. And then since then you have completely botched the tag team titles. So at this point, I hope they end up going to the Dudleys and the Dudleys vacate them. And then we can do the Dusty Classic again. And the winner of that is a decent actual tag team. And then we can start from scratch. But
it breaks my heart how much like Hank and Tank don't feel important because it was such a beautiful story to get invested in. And I think we also were like, sorry, Hank and Tank, we did not know your game. So you had this rare moment. It's rare enough that it happens in wrestling. It's even more rare that it happens in NXT of like really well-built story, like star-making performances along the way. And it's just a bummer that they have completely thrown that out the window. DarkState, I can't say how much like I am so impressed by the flashes of talent we get from people within the group and how poor the rollout of this faction has been. And that sucks because I think Osiris Griffin, a couple weird spots today aside, is really impressive. Obviously, Saquon Sugars is ridiculous. Like, we know that. And the lack of clarity and direction around these guys has been abysmal. I don't understand how you have a team come in with such fervor and the lack of backing it up at all with just honestly like some consistent wins that help them move up the card before they get these titles. And now they've lost to, I mean, legends. So everybody's going to have differing opinions on that. I'm more often with you on the fact that like, I don't think legends generally need titles. They're legends, so let them do adjacent stuff and make young talent. I can't think of a match that needs it less than this, but let's do some quick readings so that we can get those out of the way before Sean pops up. That's I don't mean get out of the way. I just mean we're at an expedited time tonight. Yes, so JW Pringle saying, amazing, Alex. Sister Killer Kate, powerful Papa Paul Elizabeth. He had a very busy day today. And all the SGS, the Elizabeth Pringle house are your reigning, defending Power Family Champions of the world. Much love, be sour tears. I can't like, I got to see my family today, and thank God I got to see them in person because my dad is like so busy. The fact that I even caught him today with the past 24 hours that he is like, he's just a very popular guy, my dad, which of course my brother knows. But my dad says, greetings to the SGS team Kalex. Best wishes for a great combined review from the combined Elizabeth Pringle family. Well, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. Silver Apocalypse saying, Uncle, how... Oh, are those are puppet puns, aren't they? Those are puppet puns. We'll wait for puppet puns,
I mean, we
can
definitely save those to make... while they're Sean with those things. So, Orion Ben says, no Joel Pearl run-in, so a decisive AEW victory. Well, it was the final tally on this showdown is a tie, and so nothing was settled, and it's perfect. So the TNA wins the NXT titles, and also the NXT women win the first ever, the little Survivor Series deal. I should say the NXT women beat the other former NXT women because that's basically what this was, and it was kind of odd the way that they structured it. But it came down to Kelani having to face off against Soul and Lola, and Kelani having to face off against Soul and Lola and Jacy. She which was kind of great because they decided to run the exact same playbook with Ricky Starks in the main event, which was nice because they decided, you know what, let's not do two stories with two different Survivor Series matches. Let's just have the same story twice. What a great idea. It saves us time and also thought and brain cells. So Kelani fought back valiantly, not violently, but valiantly, was able to get a pin on Lola after she shoved Lola and conked noggins with Jayne. And then after she pinned Lola, Soul Ruca hit the Soul Snatcher on Kelani, and Jayne tagged in and got the pin on Kelani, which doesn't do anything. Like, there's no, like, if Soul Ruca had gotten the pin on Kelani, Soul Ruca gains nothing more than she does if Jayne gets the pin, and vice versa. I understand why Jayne, her character is a little shit who we're supposed to not like, but like the look on Soul Ruca's face, like, how dare you, when you don't get anything more. It wasn't like, hey, if Kelani gets pinned, whoever pins her get a shot at the TNA title. That's not on the line. There's nothing that makes any of that mean anything. So it's great that they put it in there for no reason.
Like, there is nothing on NXT but dissension, and it makes for really boring stories when you get to this point. If you are tuned in for the AEW show and you're like, I wonder what was happening on this TNA NXT thing, let's just explain the fact that Kelani Jordynne is an NXT talent who has the TNA Knockouts talent and is leading Team TNA, but TNA invaded NXT or infiltrated NXT, whatever, because NXT talent were taking all their titles and having basically zapped all their presents. So TNA thought, you know what's an appropriate response to that when the former Dana Brooke, Ash by Elegance, has to vacate her title? We should give it to Kelani Jordynne, even though the whole impetus for this thing was they have all of our titles on the other show.
Yeah.
So that is extremely convoluted, even entering the match. I like that they played off the history of Soul and Kelani because everybody loved their first match, and you and I were like, this is impressive athleticism, but it doesn't feel like a wrestling match. Mm-hmm. People were like, their second match was fine, but it was nothing to write home about. And I feel like both you and I were like, that's wrestling. So we are like, we're so counterculture. We're just so
counterculture, and we also predict the future because we said last week Jordynne Grace and Joe Hendry are going to be special guest referees for these matches, and they went ahead and announced that over the weekend, and it's fun being right all the time. So Jordynne Grace had one spot in the match where she was like, after Cassie Lee and what's the other one's name that's not Billie Kay? Those two got eliminated. And after they got eliminated, they were attacking who was left from the team NXT. So Jordynne had to like put half her whole body outside the ropes to be like, hey, now you two get out of here. I don't want to hear anything more about it. You get out of here, while Kelani was pinning somebody. And so she was late getting to the pin, and Kelani was like staring daggers at Jordynne Grace. And my point was like, I was like, are they going to give Jordynne Grace the TNA title? Is Jordynne Grace going to be the next person who gets a TNA title shot, and she's going to beat Kelani Jordynne for it? Because they would do absolutely that, but they didn't do that. Anyway, like I said, Kelani ends up losing, getting pinned by Jayne. But Kelani was getting traitor chants from the audience, which I feel like was not the point of her being the TNA captain or whatever. It was all very odd. But none of this matters because the only thing that matters happened next. Mustafa Ali and Ethan Page had the best match on NXT TV in, I don't know, let's say forever. Because, man, I missed watching Mustafa Ali just be the world's greatest babyface. He is the world's greatest babyface in the ring. Like the way he sells for stuff, the hope spots, the facial expressions, everything he does just screams out for you to root for this guy. You're like, he is perfect at it. And so it's great that he's found a character to play in TNA where he's the asshole that everybody hates. But in this match tonight, he got to go back to being the Mustafa Ali I fell in love with in on 205 Live, where he was this guy who you rooted for every single time, and you actually were physically crestfallen. All of the crests on your body fell to the ground.
Gravity just took him over.
Gravity took all the crests and they've fallen onto the ground.
Straight down.
Every time that you would watch him lose, he's so good at this. And Ethan Page perfectly played the character. The heel-ness was so great. There was it came down to Mustafa Ali doing a great comeback.
This was such a good ending.
The damnedest suicide dive you'll ever see. Completely clearing the announce table, taking Page with him, and he's behind the announce table for the longest time. And credit to them for not tipping the hand. Like they never showed an angle that would have belied this. But while he was back there, Mustafa Ali painstakingly tied a knot in Booker T's microphone cords around his left ankle. And it was supposed to be like, oh, okay, well, I mean, he just got tangled up in it. But there was a full-on knot being tied. It's fine. But because it led to a brilliant point where he is able to get up, drag Ethan Page, throws him back into the ring, and climbs to the top rope. But he's still affixed to all the shit behind the desk by this microphone cord. He can't shake it off of him. And Ethan Page runs up and shoves him off the top rope, and he flies 15
launches
feet
him
on his ass. And then Ethan Page drags him back into the ring, hits the twisted grin, and pins him. What a brilliant finish to give you just enough hope. And like the entire audience goes, no, you're tied to that thing. Like all of them at the same time, I think believed it was an accident. Like, don't do it. You're tied to that thing. Not realizing in the moment, because they totally bought, oh no, if he wasn't tied to that thing, he might win. Like it was this weird thing where the entire audience was in on it. It was a tremendous match. And I'm so happy that Mustafa got to have this match in NXT. I don't expect to see him back ever again. But if we do, I think Ryan Cicchini was like, what a great match by him. He's going to win the title. Was one of those things. I don't think he's going to win the title. I don't think he's going to get another shot at the title. But if he does, I'll be the happiest wrong guy ever.
Yeah, he said kind of loved the Ali finish. He'll get the belt. I can't say enough good things about this match. And if we weren't on a time limit, I'd talk about it myself for another 2 hours. But I loved the finish too. And I have to, so much credit to both of them because Mustafa, that's such a tricky prop spot because it has to be true and not true at the same time. Like he cannot actually be caught up in them or he'll hurt himself and you can't do the actual finish, but it also can't look not true. So, and he's also, one thing I love about Mustafa Ali is I'm a fan of the proportionate sell. And so if that spot was going to happen, Ethan Page had to do what he did and absolutely freaking launch him, because him getting caught up in the cord isn't an injury. It doesn't actually hurt him in any way. It's just an opening and an opportunity for Ethan Page to go and yeet him, which he has to do with fervor if that's going to work. And I thought both of them, the timing of it, I thought this was all fantastic. I can't say enough about the pacing of this match. This was a lot quicker than Ethan Page works, especially in the beginning and in general. Like, it's not that he's not capable, but because he's right now methodical heel guy, usually that involves some feeling out and some strategy and just a different pace of the match. But like these guys wrestled their asses off tonight, Alex. Like they were pro wrestlers tonight. And this match, I mean, unsurprisingly match of the night, but like super vivid story going into it. Phenomenal title defense. Ethan Page, excellent. Mustafa Ali shining in the way that the match was set up to let him shine. And you're right. Like he's really fun as the politicking dickhead from what I've seen. I've seen it more New Japan than TNA, but like he's very, very easy to get behind. And I think that's a really good quality to have because I think he can do both very well. But like him, God, like everything in this was just really well put together. And I thought that finish was really different. And I felt like it was high risk and both performers pulled it off because I thought I always appreciate something where I'm like, that could have gone wrong 6 places and it didn't go wrong in any of them. It's just cool. That's just a cool thing. So I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very, very good. Very, very bad was the booking of the men's Survivor Series match between NXT and TNA.
Sure.
Just let's find all of the possible convoluted ways to get to a dumb finish that nobody likes.
I have to say,
hey guys in the writers' room, we're all
when
here.
I saw this before match card and didn't see it end in a tie.
Let's brainstorm all of the dumbest possible ways we could book this match. Okay, there's no wrong answers. Let's go. And then they put them down on a whiteboard and they used all of them. Let's have Myles Borne start out the match like a house of fire, kicking everybody's asses, and then just whoopsie-daisy into being the first guy pinned a minute into the match. So much, and make him look so dumb getting pinned after that flurry of offense that you could have Booker T, the most serious he's ever been, like, weak link of the team right there. Like after Booker T screaming, what the hell, and oh baby, over and over again for the entire match, he drops it down into this lowest, almost a whisper. That's the weak link of the team right there. Like, and you say, well, that must be true. Look at what just happened. He was so dumb, he walked into a finish from Frankie Kazarian and got pinned a minute in. And then, I mean, yeah, I guess it serves the match they're going to have on Sunday, but Leon Slater pinning Javon Evans, taking the most entertaining dude in the match out halfway through. That was kind of dumb. And then, like, I was paying attention to the match, but also kind of trying to watch what was happening in AEW. So, what was the reason that Trick Williams just abruptly stepped off the apron and walked away? Did he have he didn't like defect to Team TNA? Did he have like beef with Ricky Starks that I didn't know about?
I think it's going to turn into I want Ricky Starks' title. But all it did was prove Santino Marella right. Like, this was very nonsensical in my opinion. I mean,
the best thing about it to me is that it signifies we might actually get Santana winning the TNA title on Sunday.
Would hope so.
And then that makes Trick no champion, so he wants Ricky Saint's title. And that's how we get to that. So I would hope that would help Mike Santana, or as Booker T calls him, Mikey Santana. Just keep calling him Mikey.
Punch him in the head if I was Mike Santana for that. Because much like there are, Kate's and Katie have completely different energies. Mike's and Mikey's, unbelievably different
Ricky
energies.
tagged himself in. And that meant that Trick Williams
wasn't even
left the match.
Yeah, I mean, no, that was not even like
what the chat is telling me. Like that happens all the time.
And like what? I don't feel like it was an egregious. It wasn't like if you tag yourself in to be an egotistical dick, you're the heel, and Ricky Starks is the face, and just tagged himself in because he wanted to win the match. Like it certainly didn't warrant walking out on your team. But like
No.
this angle has been so bad from the beginning, Alex, of like the TNA versus NXT rollout, because as we talked about last week, you have an NXT talent captaining the TNA side, and you have the person with the TNA world title co-captaining the NXT side. But more so than that, it's like this all felt heatless, and like the fact that Trick just proved Santino Marella right makes me feel like Santino Marella should just be like, give us your title, kind of like, or whatever. I don't know. It's been a very, very poorly executed angle, but like what's beautiful about that is pretty much every invasion angle is, and I just think it's nice that they carry on that tradition. But man, this was all like.
So anyway,
Joe
after
Hendry
that happened,
was the special guest
Ricky was
referee.
by himself, but he didn't really do much of anything. He was just there. Ricky is left 1-on-4. Is able to pin Frankie Kazarian, is able to get the knees up and small package Leon Slater. And then Moose spears Santana. Like, Ricky gets out of the way and Moose spears Santana. And 30 seconds later, Santana pins Ricky. Which, like, Santana kicked out of Moose's spear. Ricky tried to pin him. And then Santana just pinned him. Like, he hit him with a lariat and pinned him. And it kind of really, like, ended up being that Santana no-sold Moose's spear. It was kind of an odd thing, but, like, so it's very possible we're getting, like, Ricky going after, like, Ricky and Santana stuff. But it's more likely, I hope, that Trick Williams loses the TNA title to Santana, and then Trick Williams and Ricky is your next program. I have no idea. People have reported, not us, I don't think, that Obafemi is staying around in NXT for a while. Doing what? I have no idea. But we'll see going forward. And now Sean is here to talk about Title Tuesday.
I think he'll be causing havoc of the Halloween variety, but you know, Santana is an interesting one because FightfulSelect.com reported that there are several contracts up after Bound for Glory. I don't know if Santana's one of them, but like if WWE has interest, this is another situation where TNA would miss the window of crowning their champion in the right moment to give the product momentum. But
not after Bound for Glory, but not long after Bound for Glory.
Yes, that is what I would call dumb. I think
there are people, there are persons or peoples with title belts around their waist right now in TNA who do not have contracts in 1 week.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant calls there.
FightfulSelect.com, however, had a report today confirmed by Xavier Woods himself that he has signed a multi-year extension. And last week we had reported that Bronson Reed signed a multi-year extension recently. We reported that Santos Escobar was leaving WWE. And we also slipped in a little note there. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop up at New York Comic Con this weekend in some capacity. So keep your eyes on that. I can't begin to tell you guys how important it is to support original coverage. It's pretty nice. We got some good stuff over there, including these two goofing around with puppets and stuff here and there. But
don't say their name because they'll appear.
I don't want to do that then. I do have more contract news coming, like a lot, very soon, like a lot. I'm also working on a story about how the payout structure for TNA talent in NXT works. Now, I can provide a little bit of a hint in that. Based on what people were getting paid, I knew it was going to be the main event tonight. And that's what we had reported on Fightful Select this week. Because there was a disparity there. And I'll go into detail on Fightful Select when I run that report, but digging around on that. But we had Title Tuesday. But more importantly, have y'all done any ad reads right now?
We have not yet.
No, none. Well, that's good because I'm doing one. My bookie AG. You bet $50, or actually, you just deposit $50, or you deposit $100 rather. I'm all over the place. You deposit $100,
Would
you
you
get
like
a
me to
$50
do
bonus. Hell no, I don't want you to do it. You deposit $200, you get a $100 bonus. And today, if you bet on some underdogs, you were making some money. Team TNA was favored to win the women's match. Team NXT was favored to win the men's match. Mustafa Ali was favored to win his match. And all underdogs there won. Now, I'm doing pretty well on NFL betting this year. Doing really, really good, despite the relative competition within the league. But you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere at my bookie AG. They've got lines up for Crown Jewel right now, which have Seth Rollins favored to win as well. I think that's probably a solid one for him. John Cena, massive favorite in what would be his 100th PLE win. Stephanie Vaquer is favored to win, as is Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. They don't have lines up for Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns. I'm actually very interested to see how that one emerges, because I think that all the upside is in Bronson Reed winning that. But my bookie AG, please only bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. I am going to unload a wicked parlay that I'll show you guys on my Twitter this week. I'm gonna go for like some crazy legged parlays. By God, very, very. Yeah, that's right. I stumbled there, but you know what? I had a long week. All right, I had an NXT alumni attacking me, and a TNA alumni actually. Jake Christ and Shotzi both attacked me this week for no reason.
You really stuck it to the air though with those punches.
I did.
You really showed them.
People said, "Why'd you do that?" Well, I was aiming for Shotzi. I was trying to get my lick back. That's what was going on. I was trying to hit her, and it didn't work. It did not work at all.
Got some views though.
Got about 1 million views. And that's what Pro Wrestling Revolver was very happy about. But I wasn't happy about it. I wasn't. But anyway, AEW Title Tuesday. We had a Hangman and Joe promo. Honestly, really good to kick off the show. You all should seek that out. Really, there was a Hangman or an Ice Spheres Hangman sign in the audience as well, to precede the 4 Ice ads that aired on the show. At one point, as I had the dual screen, Ice itself was Rick rooting NXT and AEW. True. It was on both screens. I was incredulous at this. And listen, say what you want about politics and all that stuff. I don't want my tax dollars going to the advertising budget of Ice. That's for damn sure, especially on the shows that I'm covering anyway. I should get a deduction for having to sit through this at this point. Great Hangman and Joe promo. Moxley defeated Tomohiro Ishii via technical submission. Listen, I'm not a big no-sell guy. Ishii no-sold getting posted and stood up from a pile driver. And I'm like, man, listen, I know Tony's a big Ishii guy. I'm not a big no-selling those 2 moves types of guy. But that's the biggest complaints I have about this absolute humper, slapper, just friction, denim on denim humpage that we saw out of these 2 people. Moxley,
I mean, you don't know anything about selling, so
I don't know anything about selling. But John Moxley sold quite a bit in this match. He gave a lot to Ishii. This was a really, really good match as well. The Hurt Syndicate demand match. Apologies, sinus infection, which also probably contributed to why I couldn't win a fight on Friday. This was particularly incredible because, like, even when things didn't go their way, like a table didn't break on a spot, they just jumped through it again and the whole crowd reacted. And Hurt Syndicate beat Demand in this like 16 and a half, 17-minute street fight, of which the the Hurt Syndicate's street clothes were their suits.
Yeah.
They still were dressed in formal wear, which I really respect. And I always go back to a piece of TNA commentary that the Pope, the former Elijah Burke, did. And he explained why it is that people don't wear gear in street fights. And he says, well, it's because your gear is very, very expensive, and you're almost certainly going to get it ripped or torn in situations like that. And I always remember that because that was a great piece of commentary. I'm glad that the Hurt Syndicate specifically are more established as baby faces here, because for a long time, like, I understood why there was some friction between them and other teams in the division when they were very, very dominant. They were heels, and that's okay to be that. But they were heels, and the crowd was chanting, "We hurt people," and they were slapping hands on the way to the back. So, like, I understand that. I'm glad that they are what they are now, because I think you need teams and acts booked like Hurt Syndicate. You need very, very over teams. And although I'm sure MVP does not necessarily like some of the things that we've reported, I like the booking, and I like their matches, and I like their promos. So that's good. As I'm seeing these fucking puppet requests roll in.
Sean, you could have just given us $1,000.
No. Look,
there would be no puppet requests.
Every $2 is chipping away a little bit more.
Well, then don't complain about the requests about the puppets.
Well, listen, as incredulous as I am about the side-by-side Rick Rude Ice commercials, listen, I'm about to call him up and get Alexei Pupetlowski's papers checked. That's for damn sure. I'm about to get that $50,000 bonus.
Yeah,
put a bounty on Pupetlowski over here. We just got this hilarious visual of Don Callis, as you know, that they flew in the whole Don Callis family for this backstage promo, because like all 10 of them are there, and Clone's just standing there, and they're like, "Rocky, say something," even though you've got to be here because you work backstage. He cuts a promo as well. There was a particularly funny line there in that Don Callis said that Kyle O'Reilly was such a Kyle Fletcher stan that he named himself after Kyle Fletcher, which was very nice. Kyle Fletcher beats O'Reilly. They have a great match, of course. Kyle O'Reilly wants nothing to do with the Kyle chants at all. Like, doesn't like that. But Mark Briscoe ends up making the save there. We're getting Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher at Wrestle Dream. To me, this is a great match because they have put Mark Briscoe over big. And Kyle Fletcher is very clearly the guy. But, you know, I make a lot of complaints about people deserving title shots, which is one that I'll bring up in a moment. But these two are ones that have been put over immensely en route to this match, and is a big match. It's going to be a good match as well. We have Jurassic Express winning against a couple jobbers, including Kevin Matthews. The Young Bucks bought tickets for this match, but the funny thing was they couldn't afford to get the two tickets together. They had to buy individual tickets, so they had two kids sitting in between them, and they had to talk over the kids in the audience. Of note, he is not Jungle Boy Jack Perry. He is just Jungle Jack Perry now, which I think is a nice little adjustment there. Young Bucks attack. They get the Wrestle Dream challenge after that as well. And then Mercedes has her open challenge, and it is the former Caden Carter, Lacey Lane. Listen, I honestly think Izzy would have been a better like shout here. Could have really healed on Izzy. It is the 10-year anniversary of the Iron Woman match. Izzy is from the area. It's an open challenge, but to debut Lacey Lane on AEW upon her losing the ROH interim title match to Mina like a month ago, I was like, okay, like
I just like that Lacey talked about it being a dream match of hers. I thought she did really well. I thought that Mercedes put her over, like made her look really
Yeah.
good. The problem I have with it is that this match was 9 minutes and 15 seconds, and it's the only women's wrestling on a 2.5-hour card. That is
I
that
agree.
is egregious and intolerable, and we shall not stand for it. 2.5 hours, one women's match. It lasts 9 minutes. That's 2022 style. Like we've evolved beyond that. You are ostensibly building to a women's blood and guts match. You've already announced the date.
I
It's
agree.
a month from now. There should be constant bickering and fighting amongst them. You're going to wind up with 10 women total. There should never be a Dynamite or a Collision where some combination of them aren't fighting each other.
Heavy lack of
it doesn't
women
make
in
any
general
sense.
on this show tonight. Heavy lack of
yes.
women in general on the show.
Yeah.
They announced tag titles and like
Nothing.
nothing on that. And like this is Title Tuesday, and there were hardly any titles represented on the show. Like, so from an overarching complaint, and I know you're like in a flow, so I don't mean to interrupt, but like the lack of titles and the lack of women's wrestling, you announce tag titles and you don't do anything about it on Tag Title Tuesday or on Title Tuesday. And this is the only women's match, and it's less than 10 minutes is nonsense.
It would have been really
That's
good.
not even enough time to get chicken tenders and come back to your seat, you know?
It would have been good on Title Tuesday for them to make an announcement of the future plans of a title, especially if you're going to have this real lack of women on the show. Now, I saw somebody say this, and it's not a super chat, but I wanted to address it. Someone says, I don't think many AEW fans would care much for the Izzy lore. What Lacey Lane lore is there? There's at least a story there, and it's Mercedes' job to make people care about it. And to me, it's pretty simple. Mercedes wins. They play up the history. They give a nod to Bayley, who's doing some incredible things for women's wrestling. Mercedes not only beats Izzy, but attacks her afterwards, really heals her, like hurts Izzy. I think that would have been a really good shout. We have Sammy and Mordos backstage.
Makes Izzy cry again. Like,
yes, exactly. Like you see her fighting back tears.
They're doing a thing right now. It's the 10-year anniversary of Respect. The event, the match where Sasha Banks went into the crowd to steal stuff from a small child and made her cry. It's the perfect. If it was any other time, I'd be like, okay, fine. It's perfect right now. It's perfect right now.
And easy. Somebody says Mercedes squashing Izzy would have been. Who said squashing? Who said Izzy is a capable performer? Like what? This woman won Rookie of the Year at our Fightful Awards, for the love of God. Does she have ties with WWE? She is a free agent. She is a capable wrestler. This is not a charity case situation.
Right. And even if it was a squash, it shouldn't be the only women's match on the show. So it wouldn't be the only women's matches that we're watching.
That part.
I completely agree. Like Izzy is out there wrestling like all the time, guys. Like it's not you can have. In fact, that could be part of the story is that she had a surprisingly competitive match against.
Yes,
Mercedes would laugh it off. She'd be like, "Ha, this kid. I guess I did get her booked after all," type of thing.
Right. Yeah.
I think that would have been a perfect story. But we also had Sammy and Mordos backstage. Eddie and Hook. They're setting up a match for Collision there. I want Eddie talking more in general. That's what I would like to see.
Mordos needs to only wear the sunglasses. Mordos, that's the new cool guy meme is Beast Mordos with the sunglasses. There's never been a man cooler.
That was a great visual, and I guess I didn't quite understand what I was seeing at first. I was like, Mordos looks different, and then afterwards I was like, oh, he had sunglasses on. That's what it was. Okada and Takeshita beat Brodito. There was a great story threaded here as to why it is the tag champions would lose to two singles guys, albeit two of the best singles guys. It's because Bandito came into this match after his shoulder popped out and popped back in. And then he goes to do his finisher and he can't grip for the German suplex because of that. They capitalize and win. They get a title match. And Bandito is, oh my God, just the guy who speaks, his very little English, and he's so disappointed in himself. And he's like, I don't want to make excuses. I didn't win. And I feel really bad that I didn't win. Oh, it was really good. If he rounds that out, good luck. Good luck, man. Just like, it was such a baby face promo. It was so good. Yeah. And everything Brody King says is like baby face-ish. So this is really good. I can't wait to see that match at Wrestle Dream 2. That show is looking real good. We're also going to get Jet Speed and Willow against, I think, Stokely and FTR at Collision. I think that's what it is. And then OC defeated Pac, but not just Pac, Singlet Pac, which it didn't stay up that long, buddy. Didn't stay up that long.
He dropped the straps quickly because all the footage I was able to see of it online was just him and Long Boys, and I was like, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I'm willing to accept Long Boys Pac.
I think what happened is his traps sawed through the straps is what happened.
Could be it. Yeah.
Like it was just the friction from his straps there. Oh, it's FTR and Megan
was
Bayne.
Like 6-pack, 36-pack.
It's FTR and Megan Bayne.
Was the ringer that FTR brought in to face Willow.
Yes. Apologies for that. This is where I got caught up watching the other show. But there was a spot in OC and Pac where Darby shows up and handcuffs Pac. I guess he has accepted the $50,000 signing bonus. He saw those commercials and he goes, well, he's got visa issues all the time.
Yeah, always.
Let's go ahead and do this. And he arrested Pac, and Pac said no. He said fuck ice, and he got rid of the cuffs and got back into the ring, and then got pinned afterwards. So I don't know if like he was I don't know if like maybe they were put on a little loosely and he didn't, like he wasn't supposed to get out of them, because like I don't know how he would get out of those ideally.
Did he pull the bar out of the barricade? Was it like a gimmicked bar?
It was hard to see. It was hard to see from me, but he's fucking Houdini. So what's it matter? That's his new gimmick. He's a magician. He had an apparatus in his singlet, I bet. He had a key.
That must be it. Yeah.
Key. So it goes crazy after this, as if it couldn't get crazier than what just happened. There's a taser. I guess those are distributed when you get that job, and Molotov cocktails, which checks out, honestly. There's a Molotov cocktail, but Security Sam goes, not on my watch, not my homecoming, buddy. And Security Sam mows Darby down.
Let's go.
At what point is Darby disciplined for risking the lives of paying customers?
Dude, like even Sam was like, no, we're not doing this.
Like Tony Khan needs to suspend and fine Darby Allin. Darby Allin, the next time I see you will be at Wrestle Dream. You cannot show up and fake like you're going to throw a Molotov cocktail at people while there are paying customers within 5 feet of you. We can't have that.
At some point, I want, because they hire extras to be security guards, and the world knows now security is mainly wrestlers. I want to see one get their match because they are a security guard that just beats the shit out of a wrestler. They sort of did that with Adam Priest a while back, where he was one of the nameless guys breaking up a fight, and then he got the better of Dax and busted him open, which was great. But I'll tell you one thing, guys. If you don't want to watch a bunch of dumbass ice ads, you can go to nordvpn.com/Fightful. You can watch this show on Triller, on Triller from AEW Plus. You can get those AEW pay-per-views in a week and a half at about half the price. TNA Bound for Glory this weekend, half the price. You might say, well, what about Crown Jewel? What about that one? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not watching on ESPN Unlimited. I am watching it as Kate yawns through my ad read, this exciting ad read.
I have weak lungs and I'm better at this than you, but go ahead.
Anyway, I watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Crown Jewel all on Netflix with one subscription. You might say, well, isn't Netflix going to change it? No, they just want your money, man. They just want your subscription. And listen, if you're watching Raw, you got to have Netflix anyway. So get that nordvpn.com/Fightful. You might say, Sean, I don't know if I'll like it or not. Well, first off, you're gonna, but if you don't, 30-day money-back guarantee. There are a wealth of other benefits from nordvpn.com/Fightful that are, that show up whenever you go to that website. That'll give you the Threat Protection Pro. It'll show you about the encryption. It'll show you all that good stuff. A great discount. Get a 2-year subscription and 4 months free. You're going to end up paying I think it's less than $2.98 a month to get that. An award-winning VPN with 10 years of experience, servers across 165 locations. Quick tutorial. Here's how you do it. Subscribe, get the app on any device or operating system, change your virtual location, log into your Netflix account, good to go. Or whatever pay-per-view provider you want. nordvpn.com/Fightful. We've got a lot of super chats and humper chats. Oh, man.
Well, before we dig into those,
why?
Well, I just wanted to ask because Santos Escobar did not show up today.
No.
So there you go. So we'll see what's to come of that, I guess. There was a lot of buzz. There was a lot of whispers out.
I just want to say, this is a personal story about Santos Escobar and how much I like that gentleman. I was having a real bad day at work on a media day. I think maybe Denise was the only one that saw it, but there was someone being not very pleasant for no reason. And it was to me specifically. And Santos went over and said, what's going on? Because he wanted to find out, if I did something, something like that. And that person was being very rude. And he's like, well, why? And then when he found out the lack of reason, he came over and he grabbed me and he goes, he said, come on, amigo, interview time. And I'm like, am I about to get gone off on? What's going on here? And this gentleman waited until we were on camera, and you can go back and watch it. And he said, I just want you to know that myself and my family really appreciate you, your work, and how you do things. And that is not something that you get a lot on camera. It happens a lot off camera, but he is one of those people that did it on camera, and he didn't have to do that. I mean, I know it's cool to be like the dirt sheet hater, so to speak. But he did that, and that was it meant a lot to me, and it took a very, very bad day for me, or what felt like a bad day, and it made me go, okay, now I see how the people actually within the business act, especially when he did his research on the situation, and I appreciated that. And he didn't have to do that, but yeah, I'm hopeful and excited for him and his future. Kate's asking for names. Kate, you know who it was. Here. I'll put it in the studio chat. That's who it was. You'll be very unsurprised.
Story tracks.
Because I reported accurate information about them.
How dare you? I mean, for starters.
Yeah.
This fucking chat. Is he related to Santos Little Helper?
No.
How about a Simpsons movie coming out in a couple years?
Yeah, there's nothing like striking while the iron is cold. Honestly, I feel like they should announce that is the last Simpsons. Like, you have people who are in their 70s now, who are original cast members. Like, I don't want to hear weird sounding Homer after he dies. You know what I mean? Like, let's let's build to it, and then say this is the retirement match, and go out with a really cool storyline cementing all of the Simpsons. I think it could be really good.
It could end up being like King of the Hill, where the original voice artist, like, he sounded really, really rough towards the end of his life, rest his soul. And then the replacement they got sounded more like the original Dale Gribble.
Sure.
But by God, let's get to super chats and humper chats, because this was always going to be a different kind of show. And by always, I mean the 24 hours that I decided that this would be the way that the show was going to go.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
after you could just bookman sword to go against us. Yeah.
I tried. Let me, I'll read the message verbatim. I said in all caps, call into my post show tomorrow. And he replies, for what? And I said, NXT versus AEW Tuesday, to get back at those pieces of shit doing the NXT show. And he says, and I quote, oh, hell no. Last time I even suggested engaging in tribalism, Usi Breaker 05 left like 10 voicemails on my mom's phone.
Can I just say, and then we'll dig into chats, because as much as Alex and I love to go really long on shows, I know that's maybe not your favorite thing.
Yeah, listen, once the chats are done, y'all can go as long as you want. I don't give a damn. Y'all can go till 4 a.m. We ain't got a mod on here. Kate, well, you got other hours to make up. You should go 4 hours. What are you talking about?
The day that Mansoor showed up on the show, I asked him day of on a whim. We'd never communicated before. I was like, there's this ridiculous idea. I know you were just released. I don't mean to be insensitive about it, whatever. But like, if you want to do it, like, we're going head to head. This is the bit. And he was immediately like, yeah, I'm in. Like, he was like, it's my wife's birthday, but like, I'll be there like as soon as I can or whatever. And when I tell you, like, he got on the stream and he did the bit better than Alex and I did. It was like so generous with his time. He's been nothing but kind to me since. I met them at a WrestleCon, both him and our other favorite Maximum Male model. They've just been such wonderfully kind people. But like him just being willing to do that, not that long after he was released, and with very, very limited interaction with me before that, and on such a whim, was literally an all-timer moment for me. And the fact that you genuinely didn't know and people thought it was a work was also hilarious. I was like, no, Sean really didn't know.
Well, I mean,
I didn't tell him.
I mean, that's, yeah, I gotta say, in wrestling, it is very funny the things that people think are works and the people that think are shoots. And I am actively a part of that on a daily basis at this point, because people thought that I was in on that. I wasn't. And for some reason, people think I was not in on Shotzi hitting me with a Stone Cold Stunner, and that she was doing it to try to violently harm me. Good. He deserves it. That piece of shit. I'm like, okay. All right.
That's why they had a pre-made tombstone of you ready for the next night.
Well, that was MLW. That was that was by chance. That was a completely different company.
Oh, was it really?
That was MLW.
I thought it was like a nod.
No, they had done that before. But Shotzi just happened to be there, and I opened up my DM. I was like, because behind the scenes, brother, I sent Shotzi a message and said, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And also her signing off on the getting fired line that I did, because that was set it up. But I wanted to thank her for that. And then she sends me a picture of her with a fucking tombstone of me. And I was like, oh, and I was like, okay. MLW was nice though. They're good sports. They're like pretty good about that. But let's get to these super chats.
I mean, they said even the Ghosts subscribe to Select, so they kind of put us over.
Listen,
really, what do you think?
Ghosts have been reading that aggregation lately. Let's get those numbers up, friends. You can gift subscriptions. I know inflation's hitting people hard, so I try to not guilt anybody, but support original coverage. Paul Elizabeth says, greetings to the SGS.
My dad.
No, fuck him then. How about these other star ones then? How about this one? Silver Apocalypse says, Uncle Howdy Doody. Beaker Priestley, Bubba J. Dudley, Gobozilla, Kyle Pinocchio Riley, Chris Statlerlander, and Grayson Waldorf. Thanks for wasting my time, Silver Apocalypse. I appreciate you
for your generous super chat and for
great,
playing along with our puppet puns. That was so kind of you. That's how I would say a response to that. That's why we make money on our show.
Sometimes. Joshua Ryan says, kind of ironic that the week that Raw went back to 8 p.m. after the 7 p.m. experience to help, Monday Night Football was against Tony Khan's Jaguars, and it was one of the better primetime games of the year, too. Sure. Trevor Lawrence with an incredible comeback there. I think if NXT and WWE could have their way, or sorry, Netflix and WWE could have their way, they'd be on 7 p.m. more. I would look at next year and expect them ahead of time to probably plan more East Coast stuff in football season, because when you look at the rest of the football season, it's West Coast. And like, what are you going to do? Ask people to show up at 3:30 Pacific time to be in their seat? You can't do that. Like, it's just not realistic. But I miss the 7 p.m. start time already. I'll really miss it when it's 8 a.m. next week. For sure.
Boy, will I.
Rafael Garcia says, what's Pac's diet consist of? Unicorn hearts. Huge.
Yeah, he was looking swole, everybody was saying.
That dude's always been in ridiculous shape.
Matthew Hooks brings up a thing that I want you two to speak on. AEW show, really good. One women's match for 2.5 hours. I don't get it, especially with the improvement in the women's stories and multiple people over. Come on, TK. I agree. This is, as you all mentioned, there's a blood and guts match to build to.
Yeah, I think that they're building the stories with stuff that's happening on Collision, but like Dynamite is where the blood and gut match is going to be. So like let's build that out. It's a month away, but that's like 4 episodes. You could be doing more with it. And I don't think it should be unheard of to think that we should get more than a surprise opponent for Mercedes that lasts 9 minutes with no follow-up to like build to who's Mercedes facing at Wrestle Dream. Like there's nothing that's going on for her right now for that, which is another thing that you could be mad about, is that apparently Mercedes doesn't have a storyline heading into a pay-per-view, which is not something you should be doing. But also, like, it was a fun little tail of the tape or whatever, little by the numbers Statlander and Tony Storm thing.
She'll face local star Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Right.
I feel like it was a startling oversight on their part on a show where it's called Title Tuesday to not have started the women's tag title tournament today, because you could have figured out what round 1 was going to look like in the past couple of weeks since announcing that. On a week when Saray has been around, and this is no offense to Lacey Lane at all, but like with the year that Saray is having, from what I'm told, I'm not the closest Joshi follower, but like everyone has said she's kind of like, she's in shooter mode, man. Like her entering the open challenge could have been really compelling. I think even if there was a match that Mercedes had that took her to the limit that went 20 minutes, you could have thrown something together for Wrestle Dream with that, because it would have warranted a rematch. It's never a lack of opportunities, and now with the roster depth, there's even less of an excuse for it than there was before, and there was no excuse then. So it is wildly frustrating to see extended episodes not extend screen time for women, but get like, a multi-man match on a show where you have, this company has 900 titles and only 2 were defended today. Like, I feel like at least defend some more titles if you're going to bump the women's time too. Put meaningful stuff on the show.
I didn't see this. I don't know if this is sarcastic or not. I did not notice if Danny Burch was AEW security. Did anybody see that? Jambeard says, hey, Sean, I've seen a lot of fans hoping Hayter and Windsor are a team for the titles, but what about having Windsor team with Sari and Hayter with Priestley instead? Well, I think that Hayter and Windsor are the best go of it for a couple of reasons. One, AEW generally has put the titles on people that are high up on the card or very protected. And I think that Hayter and Windsor have been that. Former world champion and somebody always portrayed as on the level compared to two teams of one person signed, one person not, where you know that neither one of those teams are probably going to win the tag titles. I think you want to establish it with people on your show. I don't hate this idea in general. Like, I think that all of them are great performers, obviously. I'd like to see B. Priestley do some more stuff. It's wild to think she's only 29 years old as well, for as long as she's like been around on the scene doing stuff, because like she was there when AEW started, for the love of God. Like, it's just wild to think. But I really like the idea of Hayter and Windsor because they've established that on screen as well as a bit of a relationship. And I just think that that's the right method. But are there any teams specifically that you guys would like to see matched up or put together?
I'll just say, to the point of the chat, those are all great talent. I do think a part of these tag titles is to better utilize the women that they have signed there. And I think that's a good call. I feel like there's a lot of good teams and a lot of them are very obvious. I'm most interested to see if Shida comes back into this picture and who she were to team with. I also think there's an opportunity to bring Britt back if you wanted to. I can't speak to anything behind the scenes at all, but I can say there's an incredible gap in perception, I think, of what's online versus the value that Britt Baker provides. Meaning there are a lot of people that really like her and buy her shit. Like, there's a lot of people that buy Britt Baker merch and like what she does and who she is. So I would be intrigued to see Britt or Shida come back, and who they choose to come back with would be interesting. So I'm more intrigued about the Franken teams that we're going to get out of this, and if any of those stick around. I would love to see TJ at least go really deep into this tournament. Like, I feel like they've been the most solid alliance for the longest amount of time. Whether it's like a semifinal or a final, they don't have to win it. But like, to me, I want to see them get the screen time that they deserve, get rewarded for the cohesion that they've had for all this time on screen, and really make a push and do something very productive with the division. And for the love of God, put the Vendetta back on my screen, please. I want to see Deanna wrestle in an AEW ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always been a proponent of proven, established tag teams competing for tag team titles. I've never been a big fan of like single star got nothing going on right now. Here we go. They're a tag team. I'd much rather it be as many. Listen, however we get to 16 teams in the tournament is fine by me. However, I would love for like the final four to be all teams that we've seen hanging out together for longer than a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Ty J should be in the final four. You want to do Megan Bain and Penelope in there? That's fine. There's some really good established duos that we have that could be together. My pick was always for it to be Willow and Stat, and with Stat being the AEW Women's Champion right now, I feel like that's not a possibility. But that has always been like my thing that I've always secretly thought would be the perfect first ever women's tag team champions. So
I was just going to say, first of all, everyone's saying me and Cresta, and it should be, but I didn't want to interrupt your flow if you were trying to get out of that conversation. But I'm more open to Franken teams when you're establishing a division formally for the first time. Like, I don't like that in general, but this is the first time that they've had something to compete for. So let them compete.
Yeah.
Penta El Ciero felt oh god damn it, says y'all can get to that when I'm gone. Sean, no taser or Molotov cocktail. What are we even doing? Neither of them were used. It was very Berserker sword. It was very Drew McIntyre sword. Like, at some point you got to use those, especially if they're coming up like very Janice with the, you know, the weapon there. not until
Yes.
Moxley did we see someone actually get a good stabbing with such. So I agree. What are we doing here? Tim McFall says wrestling, baseball, Sour Grap Society, Kyle Fletcher, all on at the same time. It's a bit too much for my big gay Canadian heart to handle. Wait, NXTNA was on, assuming it was horrible, except for Ali Page. Well, we won't talk about baseball tonight. It's not looking as good for the Blue Jays. They blew that one. But I was very happy to see Mustafa Ali. I wanted to see him win, though. Really wanted to see that, guys.
Easily the match of the night.
I didn't think there was a shot of him winning, but the match was fantastic.
I wish there weren't two special guest referees that did nothing to tip anything in either direction. That seemed very weird to me. But NXT's weird, so.
James Stalling says, great to see Lacey Lane tonight. She's really good. Glad to see her get this opportunity. Love you all. Yeah, I wasn't like, I didn't hate the idea of her getting that opportunity. I'm glad she's getting opportunities. To me, I would have had that be her first match as opposed to doing the Mina one before. But yeah.
Nobody watches ROH.
Sean swinging wildly had me rolling. I mean, some people said it was the worst sell of the stunner ever. Worse than when Tim White covered his face and fell down. I think I've mentioned a few others. Michael Cole stood up one time. Man, there were a lot. Kate, do you want to go through some of these as I field an inquiry I've got here?
Sure, absolutely. Dan saying if AEW and TNA went head to head, who would come out on top? As in creative and business when they were at their best, I smoked AJ and need the answers. Thank you. Alex, I'll punt to you first, but it's so hard because all my favorites from like Samoa Joe was my TNA guy, and I also get to see him be in AEW, so that kind of makes it funny. But what do you think?
Well, I mean, TNA was at its best for a hot minute before they started like bringing in Flair and Hogan, and I think that what it was at one point is not what it has been in a very long time, and it's really hard to say, like, at this point in each of their existences, TNA 6 years in was doing really good stuff, but I don't think they had the same place in the wrestling zeitgeist that AEW has.
Sure.
And maybe they might have gotten there eventually if they hadn't been like, hey, what's Hulk Hogan doing? Let's bring him in and have him do stuff. Like, maybe they would have gotten there, but they didn't, I think, because they made those choices. It'll be interesting to say, once we have another 6 years of AEW, if AEW avoids all those same types of mistakes that TNA did, I think it'll be unquestionable that AEW came out further ahead after a decade plus. But man, peak TNA was some really great stuff. It just that was a window that I think closed pretty quickly to me.
It's a hard one for me to answer because I started watching in 2009 and I was only watching WWE at the time before I kind of discovered other stuff. I will remind you, AEW did make the mistake of bringing in Ric Flair, but they seemed to autocorrect out of that as soon as Sting was done. It would have to take a lot for me to feel as strongly about wrestling from another promotion as what AEW did in bringing back CM Punk for his first match and give me a 1-2 with Danielson and Cole at the end of a pay-per-view. Like, if we're talking absolute peak highest moments in wrestling, I don't know if there's anything that TNA did with that, but that's also such a tricky question because I watched the greatest triple threat of all time, and that makes me feel incredibly happy in a completely different way. So I don't know if I'm the gal to answer that, but I would say the disparity between the two products is looming very, very large right now.
Yeah.
Meet Normus says Willow Zilla, Hater Windsor, Ty J, Megan Nelope. There are plenty of teams right now, and I'm excited to see, assuming they have an idea of what they're rolling out, because my fear was that they would announce these and not have a plan for them. Because what I don't want to see is them wait like 4 months, like the ROH Women's Pure title. We've got.
Do you think
Maggie,
we get the babes with the power with Beth Phoenix coming back with Willow?
I would love something like that. I would really, really like to see Beth doing something like that. Maggie and Joel puppets win. Maggie has indicated her desire to have a puppet. If she could get a deal locally, maybe.
Yeah, that would be good. You wouldn't have to pay for shipping. She would just go for it and just pick up from on site.
Yes. SRS, congrats on Joe Flacco, I guess. Listen, after watching what I've watched, I'm happy they made a move. It's not the move I wanted, but you can go to Common Bingles W and check out all of my thoughts on that one. Nah, Pac just broke the chain with his ankle muscles. Listen, I'm not going to rule that out, Tom LaValle.
It's very possible.
I'm not going to rule that out. Joshua D. CT says it's MF spitting. F Michael Elgin and ice commercials. Michael Elgin hates me, thinks I ruined his career, and posted after tweeting to and about me hundreds of times. And I replied once, it must be really depressing that I get more bookings than you. He pretended that his buddy sent him a thing making a bet that I would never reply to him, which is, by the way, a legitimate thing, like a legitimate bet that I had going with one of Russo's friends at one point, and highlighted it, and they came on the air one time to talk about it. But he unfortunately left up the fact that he had just exited out of the text-free app to text himself this. So that's the lore there. And that's the last time I'll ever talk about him on the air.
I'll just say that he once told me I was a disgraceful wrestling writer, which I'm impressed by as someone who's never written anything contributing to pro wrestling.
I think one time he called me a disgraceful ballet dancer, which is as accurate as you calling you a wrestling writer.
You have some moves, though. I've seen your dance moves. So
okay.
You're pretty all right.
Oh, man. Chris Spire says, if AEW is not going to use Britt Baker, why don't they just release her? So when people say this, we don't know the extenuating circumstances there. At one point, guys, people said, why aren't they using Britt Baker? They should release her. And she had a stroke.
Yes.
We don't know the circumstances. I'm not saying she's done that or had that. Does she want to go? Does she want to be released? I don't know.
The point is we have no idea what anything is happening behind the scenes. So the idea they're not using her, release her. We have no idea what the context is of her not being used.
Yeah. We've got Spidey Boy Eli says $5 to get Sean a Joe Burrow puppet. Don't worry, Sean. Our Bengals will be okay. A rough start doesn't mean a rough finish. Blue Chew phrasing.
No, that's the problem. If we get Sean a Joe Burrow puppet, it's got to be gimmick so its limbs will fall off. That's because you've got to be true to life, you know.
I feel like he just has to always be in situations that are physically damaging to him with no protection around him whatsoever. Like he should just constantly be positioned like in front of a car, tied to train tracks, that kind of thing.
That's good. Yeah,
that's the real deal with him, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Spidey Boy Eli. Actually, I think it's the one I just read. We've got. Yeah, by the way, I mean, like our offensive line is basically made of felt. So what would the difference be there?
There you go. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Joshua DCT says when Alvarez is complaining tomorrow about the NXT refs tonight, I'm going to tell him I heard it first from Kate at Fightful that MF spitting.
He has a lot of the same sour outlooks that we have. I will say it does make me feel good because it's not just Fightful saying it, Wrestling Observer saying it. There are a lot of flaws with the way NXT is booked.
Yeah. Yep.
We got a couple more, and then I am getting the hell out of here, and you guys can do whatever the hell it is you want to do. Meet Normus says, here's a small sack of monies for puppets and women's wrestling. Let's crank. Is it too much to have an Athena squash a minute or Harley doing literally anything? Congrats on the Monday Night Football win, TK. I mean, yeah, just add a squash match, add some promos, add something. Add something, as In Simmons brings up. Going from Raw, having 3 women's matches, to this next night is glaring, and TK really needs to push the women. They bring in a lot of views. Time to bring back, give women a chance. I mean, yeah, they are not highlighting women in the way that I feel is appropriate.
Yeah, especially with an extended time block. It almost feels intentional. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Is once you add an extra half hour to it and still only have the 1 9-minute match, that just feels extra egregious. And I think they're doing a major women's match on Collision, and that's great and all, but you could do something to set that up tonight. You know what I mean? Like there's really wasn't a much that they're doing here, and not a lot of excuses to not do it.
I agree.
We have the puppets do all the ad reads. I mean, listen, I think they've got an ad read to do after I hit the bricks still. So there you go.
I don't think we do, but we can. Lord knows we can with the puppet.
I mean, you need to. You need to. What else we got? I think the rest of these are pretty much you guys, honestly. Jungle Jack out here looking like Skinner. I did predict. Quit it, Kate. Quit it, Kate.
It's me. I'm sorry.
It wasn't me.
I
Why do you assume it's me?
I thought Jack's gear was nice middle ground between Jungle Boy and the Scapegoat. I had predicted Skinner as Mercedes' opponent because he's from Florida.
Okay, that's right. Because he skins alligators.
He does.
I think perhaps Miss Mercedes was making a joke about like, oh, I wonder if there are any wrestlers that live in Florida, and maybe we went too far down the whole rabbit hole of making all of these predictions and thinking it was going to be something very like this huge deal, because 90% of wrestlers live in Florida. I feel like
a bevy of wrestlers.
A bevy of wrestlers.
Well, guys, FightfulSelect.com.
That Sean Ross Sapp of poor selling fame.
Yeah.
Finally, this guy's out of here.
Yeah. Let's read these things here. Meet Normus. These puppet puns. Penta El Cerro felt mask. It's strings. Nation of ventriloquation. Roman the insult comic big dog. That's very good. I like that one a lot. And Pinocchio Felty. Rafael Garcia says ventriloquism.
That's very good.
Let's see here. These are jukeboxes. Oh, here we go. Greg Cherry says the ventriloquist of Jericho. Title felt. I believe in Jim Henson. Oh, if only I could say his name when he would appear. I missed you.
I know.
He'd be like 89 now. Like, that's just crazy to me.
It is wild.
Bram Chop. Not Lamb Chop, but Bram Chop.
Chops, play along.
Count Von Erich. Lovians. Go Yanks. Go Steelers. Bengals suck.
The Steelers had an unbelievably productive week for how much they didn't play football. Everybody else lost.
As a puppet says, listen up, slappy nuts. There we go. Orion Ben says Sheamus's Bash brother Beaker Shaughnessy and Animal. Animal, very good.
Well played.
Okay. These we have we have just some jukeboxes left, including some duets for the Puppet Pals.
It's time for jukeboxes. Me. Just getting in good voice. My God, Daphne hates her so much.
Yeah. So there's two areas in the house where the dogs aren't allowed to go. Upstairs and in the basement, which is the only places this guy will ever be living. So I think we'll be safe. I don't like dogs, and they don't like me. It's a very chicken and the egg situation. I don't know who didn't like the other one first, but that's what we're doing now.
We love animals here, so.
All I'm saying is if they don't like you, then you tell them to go screw.
That's aggressive.
The Jambeard wants the Puppet Pals, which is us, to sing This Is the Song That Never Ends by Lamb Chops. Play along. I just realized now I put a dang puppet on my right hand, and so now I've got a Google left-handed, which is just a terrible idea.
This is the song that never ends.
That
doesn't end.
That doesn't. Should be never ends.
Allegedly.
Song that doesn't end.
There's mixed results on it. It is never ends. Google-eyed.
No,
AI.
It's also no. It's doesn't it right? I got doesn't end.
I got never
Sarah
ends.
I got doesn't end. All
All right, let's do doesn't.
All right. I'll do the first. I will do the first run, and then you do the next, and then we'll be done.
Okay.
This is the song that does not end. It just goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and we continue singing it forever just because. This is the song that doesn't end. It just goes round and round, my friends.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we gotta save that last duet for the end because it's too good. Do you want to do Nya Girl, or do you want Puppet Alexi to do one?
Oh, I can do Nya Girl.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get this. I got Doodles lyrics. I'm intrigued. Rosebets. Oh no, you go, because now it's giving me attitude.
Oh no. Okay, well I'll go then.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm good now.
You good? Okay.
So it's one night. So it's one for the night when I broke his heart, one for the joke that I took too far, one for the dent in the rental car. That's the doodles I'd undo. I've got doodles I'd undo and doodles I'd unmake when the road is passing you. Oh, there's nothing I won't break. I've got lies I'd swap for truths and truths I'd unsay. But when barman's passing through, there's no knowing what it'll take. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Very good.
Thank you.
Grapple Geekery says, I think Puppet Kate should be called Kate Fabric, which is honestly, that's better than Kate Felt, because Kate Fabe goes to Kate Fabric in such a great. I honestly like that one. It's up to you.
It should be like Kate Fabric.
Kate Fabric. Honestly, it almost sounds like. Also, sounds like Alexi is saying it. Kate Fabric. Kate Fabric. Just in the accent, it sounds like fabric. Okay. So this is I like this one. Monster Among Felt, Braun Feltman.
Nailed it. Love it.
Okay. Tom LaValle says Puppet Alexi sings Man or Muppet. I reflect on my reflection and I ask myself the question, what's the right direction to go? I don't know. Am I a man or am I Muppet? If I'm a Muppet, then I'm a very manly Muppet. Am I a Muppet or am I a man? If I'm a man, that makes me a Muppet of a man. Thank you.
Very nice.
Tim McFall says we need Alexi's thoughts on tonight's scraps. So what did you think of AEW? I did not watch. We talked about this, though. You were going to watch AEW and I was going to watch NXT. Is that what we talked about?
Oh, boy.
I like the Kyle Fletcher because he's a very good wrestler. And I like the Kyle O'Reilly because he's also a very good wrestler. Is everybody who named Kyle in your country a good wrestler? No. There are people who are named Kyle who don't wrestle at all, actually.
It's a good point.
That's confusing. Yeah, I know. I know. Boy, those NXT bookers sure are shit, aren't they? Yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Sorry, everybody, for his tone. I can't
that was aggressive
at all. It was. Okay. Finally, Rafael Garcia wants the Puppet Pals singing "I Got You, Babe" by Sonny and Cher, which is just perfect, honestly. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right. Let's see here. I'm just looking at the ceiling. I don't know why.
Oh boy, my first duet. It's true.
Okay. Come on now. All right. Okay.
I'm prepared. Diva.
So, what were you on Genius.com? The lyrics, because
I went to Street Directory.
Oh boy, I don't. Whatever. The first two lines of every verse are Cher, and the second two lines are Sonny. So I think we can just delineate that way if you want. Might be a little easier.
I will play the part of Cher.
Okay.
They say we're young and we don't know. We won't find out until we grow.
Well, I do not know if all that is true, because you got me, and baby, I have got you. Babe. I got you, babe.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe. They say our love won't pay the rent before it's earned. Our money's often spent.
I guess that is so. We don't have a pot, but at least I am sure of all the things we've got. Babe.
Babe.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Let's take it home. I got flowers in the spring. I got you to wear my ring.
And when I'm sad, you're a clown. And when I get scared, you're always around. So let them say your hair is too long, because I don't care. With you, I can't go wrong.
Put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb. I don't know how that part goes. Babe.
I have got you, babe.
Babe. I got you, babe.
All right.
Thank you.
We're going to take this show on the road. I'll give it 6
Gillette.
months. I give it 6 months before we have a Vegas residency.
We could be the next Britney Spears.
Or Siegfried and Roy. I'll be the magicians, you be the tiger.
I like that Nigel McGuinness, you know. He's a magician. Good taste. She's got good taste.
The last thing is this. Lieutenant Photo sent me something for my birthday. It was custom made, and so it took a while longer to get here. And then it was here, and I was an idiot and forgot to go to the post office a few times. But I went today, and I got it. And now it's me. This is me unboxing this thing. Yes, the dramatic headrests. We're all a big fan of the dramatic
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. Let's find out what we got in this thing here. Okay, here we go. We're opening it up. Wow.
What is it?
It's only the greatest piece of artwork anyone's ever made.
What?
Yeah. It's it's perfect.
Oh my gosh.
It looks just
like me.
It's a stretched canvas of the logo, and it's the one it's got all the grape leaves on it. It's my favorite. It's the one that I love the most.
Printed so vividly too. It's so bright. It looks amazing.
It is so bright and beautiful. It's getting hung up in the background of the shot in the basement. It's gonna listen. It like too much of the brick wall is going to be covered with this, and also with the YouTube thing. So that, this is this is amazing. Lieutenant Photo, he went above and beyond. This is tremendous. This is so
I can't believe how it looks like a painting. It printed so brilliantly.
So beautiful. My God.
Amazing.
Like, kudos
Thank you,
to
Lieutenant
the
Photo.
people who did this, because it's awesome. Like it looks
incredible.
So great. It looks so great. And this is his artwork. This is Photo's artwork.
That's crazy.
It's so good. Like it's just that's so good. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm so
it rules.
Thank you so much for that. That's just wow. Kate's wall is looking kind of bare, LT.
That's my own damn fault. That's my own damn fault.
Yeah, it's wow. Thank you, everybody. This was a kind of a weird show, but it's fun.
We did all right. I would like to point out
Lieutenant Photo says I almost got the 16 by 20. No, it's the exact right size. It's the exact right size. It's beautiful.
I I am so excited about your fun background and the basement studio. And most importantly, I think we got more puppet jets than anything else tonight. So Sean can suck it.
By far. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is the honestly, I love all you guys and I love how excited you are about the puppets, but part of me was very excited for him to never make his money back on these puppets because he needs to be punished for making us do Freddy Got Fingered. So
I feel like we kind of, not to be whatever, but we did pretty damn well on the Freddy Got Fingered review itself.
we also did that too. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I love it.
Guys, you're the greatest. Thank you for hanging out with us and Sean while he was here. I mean, I guess. And
he was also
here. He was also here, I guess. We'll be here next week for all the fallout from TNA NXT Showdown. Wow, all the stuff. Get ready. Hey,
from
everybody,
the tie that they had.
Oh my goodness. It was we didn't even mention this thing. There were two segments on NXT tonight. Very briefly, Matt Cardona hiding behind a door while Briggs came in looking for him was very odd. And then the scene where Alexis King thought that El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. was still Tavion Heights in the mask, but then Tavion Heights came up behind Alexis King. Alexis King versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. is next week, which feels like El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. and El Hijo de an actually good wrestler.
Honestly, Lexis King is like so aggressively going after my hairstyle. It's getting ridiculous.
Honestly, he needs to back off. He needs to back off.
Like, relax. I also feel like, and then we'll get out of here. Did you notice that all the NXT girls had like Team NXT shirts and the TNA girls did not have those?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like,
same thing with the dudes' entrances. They all had matching. We all went down to the t-shirt printers and got ourselves matching outfits. It's like it was giving bachelorette party. It was definitely giving bachelorette party where you all wear the same shirt, and except one of them says bride on it.
I mean, I'm in weddings where this is the case. I can confirm. But I also I'm like, they were using NXT themes. I'm like, how is this in any way a brand versus a brand? Like, they used old themes for the Iconics and stuff. I was just like, it's all a fraud. But we will talk about it next Tuesday. And AEW will get back to their Wednesday days.
Lieutenant Photo was all part of the show. That was the intended finish of the match. It was really great. Honestly, it was probably the most ingenious finish.
It was
to a match I've seen for a while. All in all, I enjoyed this a lot more than the time when Cody Rhodes showed up to announce a tag team title match that we already knew was taking place. You know what I mean? Like this was a lot better of the we gotta get a rating because AEW is on our night. This was a lot more organic than that. There was more wrestling and less talking.
It was, but we didn't upstage Sean in any way, so it's less about the shows going head to head and our show going head to head with Sean. And he got so scared that the puppets were going to outdraw him that he combined shows. So
he was so scared
that in the mud,
gonna get screamed in the ratings. That if you can't beat him, join him, or in this case, if you can't beat them, force them to join you because you're their boss. That's basically what he did.
Pretty much.
All right, everybody.
Pretty much.
We'll see you next week. Until then, keep cool, gabagools.
Yeah.